You are not worthy.
I'm worried about this game, guys. This very well may be rest in peace for Marvel's Avengers. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Treyllo. Welcome back to a brand new video, and this one we're going to get into the Avengers immediately. Over a year ago now, we got our first 8-day gameplay at the convention. We were able to see what Marvel Avengers looks like actually in gameplay. We were given cutscenes, gameplay mechanics for every character, and an overall display case of I think about 5 characters. We were given a good sense of how the game's graphics would be, a good sense of how the characters would look, and how the combat performed overall. Tomorrow, on June 24th, we'll be expecting further gameplay, giving us more details, perhaps more character gameplay, and more maps and stuff like that. But before we get into that gameplay, I want to make some predictions and kind of give a sense of what I think the game's going into, and personally, what I think the problems are. Let's start with some good things first, though. The graphics, even though not the highest quality we've seen in gaming these days, do perform well. It looks like there's even a little bit of a destructible environment and really good effects when it comes to characters like Thor and Iron Man. Not to mention good environments for fights to take place, like on the Golden Gate Bridge and cities and space, all these really cool areas we're going to be able to fight people. The starting base with 6 characters, different skins, skill trees you can level up things, and of course co-op missions with all 5 Avengers. All this topped off with a single player story mission and a multiplayer story mission with over 15 hours of content. On the surface, that sounds all pretty great and kind of a dream, but let's get into some of the more detailed things here. But you notice that in the combat in this game, a lot of what you do is going to end up being button mashing, no doubt. We know that the characters have a couple abilities that they can use and an ultimate ability that they can unleash when it's ready. They'll also have their standard attack, heavy attacks, and some of the characters have projectile attacks as far as I'm aware. What I'm seeing when I see people like Thor and Hulk fight is I'm seeing a lot of animation lock in the combat. When you're activating these moves and when you're executing these combos, it's very pre-made. Now, animations are needed and of course always okay, but having too many can, chop up your gameplay. Games like Star Wars Battlefront 2 don't encounter this type of issue because the heroes, even though they're limited to 3 or 4 abilities, they're all movement abilities that you can kind of have power over and most of the time be able to control it, so it feels like you're still in control of your animations. Now let's remember that the 8-day footage we saw was pretty early gameplay, so we might be seeing completely different mechanics a long time from now. Marvel's Avengers actually decided to delay the game's release when it would have originally come out in May or April, I believe. Now a lot of people are bothered by the fact that the characters in game don't look like they do in the movies, especially after the release of a movie like Endgame where everyone's together and so epic and we've known these iconic characters for a decade. It's hard to tell players, alright, this is a new Iron Man, and expect them to, be on board with it. You see them clearly try to impersonate the similar personalities that they had in the movies into the game, but with different voice actors, different look kind of, it's hard to get that same feeling back. They also neglect the Avengers music, which I personally is one of my biggest problems. I understand why they can't put the Avengers music in, because honestly it's a different Avengers kind of story, but at the same time that music is so iconic now, to not have it and not fight under it might be a little bit discouraging. Not necessarily negative, because we don't really know what's going to happen here yet. When you finish the story of Marvel's Avengers, what content is left for you? Are there survival modes? Are there other things you can do, or do you have to return to these missions? People believe the game's in kind of like a Destiny 2 state type game where it's kind of open world, kind of not. So we're going to see what we do once we finish the game, which I expect a lot of players will do if it's only 12 hours for a $60 video game. I'm disappointed to not see my boy Hawkeye in there, bro. Like, I feel like they did him dirty there. And I hope they add a lot more other characters that are cool. Doctor Strange, Scarlet, Black Panther. I'm sure a lot of those characters will come, but we don't know how many we're going to see. If I estimate, I think we're going to see like 6. I still think overall that the characters could use some work on how they actually look. Like Scarlett Black Widow looks kind of good, but like I feel like they can refine her model a little bit more. And I think Hulk and Iron Man's good, but Thor could also use some adjustments on like his hair and his armor. But like I said, my main worry is about these animation locks and how the combat will perform. I don't want to be locked in an Avengers game where I'm supposed to feel like the hero. If I just have someone doing something for me, the bot just kind of making it happen, I won't really enjoy it. This is something I feel like a game like For Honor was right on the line of, right between animation locks being a little bit too much and right between you being able to do enough. I mean, it's an Avengers game, so you gotta focus on combat, and if the combat isn't addicting and isn't not repetitive, this game will die quicker than Anthem. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to put my thoughts down before, we actually saw the gameplay tomorrow, because I'm pretty hyped for that shit. And I'm hoping that we get to see, a lot of new stuff and a lot of promising stuff that will get a lot of people to pre-order the game, and hopefully get a beta date too, so we can test it out for ourselves before we buy it. But without further ado, guys, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.